whenever I'm in a pickle or so nothing, so I feel like nothing's going right, I always sit down wherever I am, try to think about what is so bad. What is so bad? I'm still breathing. I'm still living. There's people out there that don't have mothers, that don't have fathers, that don't have food, that don't have a bed. You know what I mean? So there's people out there that are so much worse off than you, and I'm complaining of something that ain't even that bad, or depressed about something even that I shouldn't be depressed about. So I'll take every positive out of. If I'm negative, I always just bring that positive energy into myself.
That was Anthony Mundine. Welcome to episode 29 of the Vision Board Podcast. I'm Johnny Stavko. Here with me is Tristan Cannell.
Hello, Johnny.
What's up, buddy?
I'm well.
I'm really excited for this episode. Not as excited as you are, because this is one of your childhood guys that, was on that poster in the wall.
Yeah, Anthony I've looked up to probably since I was about 17 years old. He was a former rugby league superstar. He had pretty much the balls to cross over to a one-man sport in boxing. He challenged that, he took on the best, and he won 3 world titles.
My why for this episode is I have this thing for successful people who do their own path, not worrying about what people think of them. Also, if you're able to manage this successful path, all the while maintaining your integrity, social integrity, personal integrity, it's admirable. And Anthony Mundine, to me, is a guy who doesn't smoke, doesn't drink, he's never in the news for beating anyone up on the streets, abusing people. He is very outspoken of living your life righteously, and that alone is why I'm really excited to talk to Anthony Mundine. I feel he's a role model.
He's a confident human being, so he backs himself. Yes, you might not like him out there, but let me leave you with this thought. If you had a camera in your face every single day, how would you come up on TV?
100%. If you put Anthony's work on paper, if you take what media gives you, so I'm the audience now and all I know about a person is what the media gives me, that's not a fair assumption of anyone. Now, if I look at that man's actions, champion, successful athlete, talks to young people in the neighborhood.
He goes to the jails, looks after the Aboriginal kids. People don't realise how much community work this gentleman does. And the reason why they don't realise is that Anthony doesn't publicise the stuff that he does for the communities, and that's intentional because he wants it to be meaningful for the people that he touches.
I know he's played a part in being a mentor for the likes of
Blake Ferguson, Sonny Bill Williams,
and these aren't just your everyday regular guys. These aren't base level guys. These are guys successful who not only seen the opportunity in having a guy like Anthony as the mentor, but also accepted it.
Yeah, when Sonny Bill wanted to leave rugby league, Anthony paid out of his own pocket for Sonny Bill Williams' contract with the Canterbury Bulldogs to be released.
Very selfless individual, and he has a couple different nicknames I hear, but the more I read about him and the more I listen to Anthony, the one I like the most is the man.
Yeah.
He's the man.
Yeah.
Anthony the man Mundine.
Fun. It's something fun. I think people get off on the wrong foot with Anthony, and I think today's interview will show Anthony in a bit of a different light, and I think you'll get a lot of respect out of this. The man's inspirational, the man is confident, and he does a lot for people outside of himself. So guys, stay tuned. But before that, just again, a big thank you to everyone listening at the moment. Really love your support, guys. So keep telling your friends about it, your family about it. If you can share some things on your social media, letting people know what we're doing and the guests that we're bringing up.
Yeah, let's everyone collectively take it to the next level. If that means that we like and share and tag you in it, if that means you email us, if that means that we're sending ideas before we do the show to some of our fans, let's do that. We really need the constant support that you guys have continuously given us. Like, share on social media, find us on Twitter, iTunes, and SoundCloud. We love the support, we love the reviews. Thanks a lot for all of that, and we're going to continue to rock and roll.
Yeah, also a big shout out to our major sponsor, Populous. Populous have been on board for a few episodes now. They're really a great organisation. Boutique. You're going to speak to the guys running this every single time. So there's Rose Singh down there, there's Kim Donovan, there's Gregory Wade. Get in touch with them. They specialise in helping businesses transform and really take the next step in their business growth.
I'm really excited about having Populous attaching themselves to us and investing in us as well. The heartbeat of Populous is basically 3 humans who have been successful, know what it's like to be successful, all the while maintaining their integrity, and they emphasize happiness, they emphasize leadership, and the one thing I really value about Populous is they emphasize helping people get to the next level.
Definitely. Also check out their show, The Leadership Show, featuring the biggest and best CEOs from around the world. They've got Joe DeSena from Spartan Race on this week, so definitely don't miss out on that episode.
I'm excited about that one. I've listened to a couple. There's the one that really blew me away. They talk about awareness, spiritual healing. They touch base on that, how to be happy, and I feel that's the secret to success. The secret to success isn't an outlying playbook. It's about finding it within you, and Populous resonates the happiness mantra.
Definitely. So the Leadership Show, which is hosted on iTunes, SoundCloud, or YouTube. Also check out Populous, Populis. That's populous.com.au.
Let's rock and roll.
Let's rock and roll. Let's get Anthony on. Here's Anthony, the man, Mundine.
It makes me wanna creep. I got something for your mind, your body, and your soul. I got something for your mind, your body, and your soul.
The Vision Board Podcast, hosted by Johnny Stofko and Tristan Cannell.
Today we've got two-time WBA super middleweight champion, one-time IBO middleweight champion. He's Australia's best crossover athlete. He played in the NRL for St. George Illawarra Dragons, as well as the Brisbane Broncos, and represented New South Wales in State of Origin. On the line we've got Anthony, the man, Mundine. Anthony, welcome to the show, man.
Hey, thanks, boys. Thanks for having me.
Nah, it's a pleasure to have you here, man. So just starting from the top, Anthony, obviously you were the highest paid player when you left the NRL in the year 2000. You switched to boxing, when at the time even your dad said that it was a dead sport. Tell me, why boxing, man?
I had a vision and a desire to do boxing ever since I was young, but I just didn't know when I was going to do it. I never had a pedigree in amateurs. I had four professional fights as an amateur, and that was it. And they were far in between, probably every 3 months. So I was tossing up sports, whether I was going to rugby league, basketball, or boxing. And because I was too young to turn professional, I was only 17 or 16, 17, then I went to the rugby league.
Anthony, where did you get, obviously you've got big self-belief in yourself, man. Where did that develop?
I just think it's, I don't know, man, just my makeup as a young boy. I just always had this self-belief that I knew I had an ability, I had talent, I put on this earth for something. And with that belief, it took me where I wanted to go in my life and in my sport. Be successful as I wanted to be. But don't get me wrong, at times you have your doubts, you have your doubts, and you have you think negative sometimes, but you got to try and stay positive. But when you're confident, that's when I perform my best.
Excellent. Anthony, it's Johnny, man. I've been in Australia for about 2 years, coming from America, and I used to watch you box, watch you fight, and my perspective is, I'm going to talk a little bit about role models, man. You're a stand-up guy. You're very vocal about not drinking, not smoking. You've never been in the news for mistreating people or hurting anyone. And coming from where I come from, I think that is like the biggest platform for being a role model and being an inspiration for others. Is there any catalyst to the path that you have led on why you choose to live such a righteous path?
Well, the catalyst will have to be my old man, to be honest. He's the one that taught me. Yeah, and my mum as well, but he's the one that showed me. I used to spend a lot of time with him as a kid. He'd take me here, take me there. I used to always see all the respect that he used to get from people. And even today, when I run into people, I say, hey, old man, make sure you say hello for me and give my respect. He's a good man. And, he taught me, and my mum taught me to treat people how you want to be treated. And, so that's what I try to do.
Excellent, man. Tristan and I are both big believers of living with intent and having purpose. And I recently saw that you posted on I think it was your Facebook maybe a week ago. You just put up a random post about, talking to your friends about what is your why? What is your reason? And I really wanted to ask you where your career is now, where your life, we go through these transitional periods. What are your motivations right now? What still drives you?
Well, I still have some desire and motivation in the boxing world, even though my last fight wasn't my best fight that I've had. I thought that I'm a big believer in preparation as far as in the fight game. And my preparation, that last fight was to be honest, I shouldn't have fought the fight because I'm just very injury ridden. I had arthritis in the hip. I had the tendonitis in the elbows. I was very limited to sparring, and it all didn't just seem right. And I shouldn't have went on, but I did, and that's that. But I definitely want to come and prove that I still got a lot left in the tank, and I still want to try and fight the best fighters out there. But obviously, there's a big fight that everyone wants to see, Danny Green.
Yeah.
But if that ever happens, I'll have to weigh about 10 to 15 kilos, and that'll be something to see because the intrigue. I still believe that speed always beats power, and as long as I'm on my game, I don't think you beat me.
Anthony, what would you do? Obviously, in 2006, you pretty much comprehensively beat Danny Green. What would you expect differently from Danny this time? And would you kind of fight the same fight where you were on the outside, you were, making him miss a lot, and then when he went missed, you hit? Was that something similar you would try to do, or you changed it up a little bit?
Definitely, but I think he'll try to box a little bit more. He's for it, use his range, use his strength. The key to the fight is speed. That's foot speed and hand speed for me. I'm saying. But definitely I'll try to box him like I did last time. Get him all riled up, talk to him during a fight, try to make him do things that he don't want to do. Reach, and once he reaches, I'll try and teach him.
Anthony, when you left rugby league in was it 2000? Obviously, you're the highest paid player in the NRL. Switching to boxing, as we spoke about earlier in the show, but obviously there's others in life who are pretty much in a comfort zone, maybe doing jobs that they don't like and getting highly paid for them. Obviously, what would you say to the people out there not really taking a chance in life and living their dreams, man?
I just think I heard a mad quote. I don't know if I want to say it right, but it goes something like, if a guy asks, where is the most dreams? Where are the most dreams at? And then bloke couldn't answer him. And the answer to that is at the cemetery.
Wow.
Because a lot of people die with their dreams, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They chase them, and that really sat home to me. And not many people have the makeup or the will or the belief to go out and take a risk, take a chance, and they like to be in a cocoon where they're safe. And what I've always said to people is you don't have to be ordinary, you don't have to be average. You can be great at whatever it is you may do. You may be a dancer, you may be a secretary, you may be whatever. You can achieve great things from anywhere.
Yeah, there's the quote you said. I'm not sure if this is what you were. There's a guy I listen to named Les Brown, and he has a speech he gives, and he talks about so many people go to their graves with their greatness still in them.
Yeah. What about that?
Yeah, and I feel that it takes a certain boldness for people. I think so many of us get stuck on this idea of fear that I guess is given to us by like society of you have to fall in line, you have to play by the rules. And the thing that has drawn me to you is that you're a very authentic man. You've walked your own path, you've done whatever you've wanted to do, and you have a very strong stance on your belief system. So I admire that, and I think that that's something to be spoken about. So authenticity is a very rare thing.
Yeah, definitely, man. You got a lot of, especially in society, what we live in, the Western society, you're controlled in a way to control your way of thinking, way of life. But you have to get up, you have to feel like sheep. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I set up from day one that I'm gonna be somebody. And this when I was a young kid. I'm gonna be somebody. I'm gonna make it. And I had dreams in rugby league. I had dreams in boxing. I said I'm gonna make it. And I didn't let no one else tell me different. And even now, some people say, "Oh, you achieve everything you want to achieve. You should give it up. Just relax, enjoy life." Yeah, I can enjoy life, but I still feel like I'm 20. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know I've got a lot left in the tank, and I want to prove that. I just need the right preparation and the right fight.
Excellent. Have you ever done any motivational speaking?
Yeah, I spoke into a few, a little bit. I would like to do that.
Yeah.
After I'm said and done, and then go out there and try and inspire the youth and make them make the right choices in life.
That's excellent.
Anthony, at age 40 now and going through everything you've been through over your career and life in general, what advice would you give your own 20-year-old self, man?
What's that?
Sorry, Anthony, I said, now that you're 40 years old and experienced everything through your life and through your career and family, what advice would you give at 20-year-old Anthony Mundine?
What advice would I give myself? I don't really, I can't say I will take back anything that I've done or said. I've done everything, set out what I wanted to do as far as I didn't drink, I don't smoke, no drugs. That's what I try to hit home to the youth. And so I already don't do that. So I can't really tell myself something like that I already do. So I mean, I'm happy with how my life's come about.
Yeah, Anthony, the one thing I'm always interested in is overcoming adversity. And it's a human thing. We all go through these ups and downs. And I feel the thing that separates the ones who are successful, and you can measure success with, you could change those words, but it's how we deal with adversity. Could you look back, is there one thing in your life that maybe it was tough at the moment, and then looking back in hindsight, you were like, man, I'm glad that happened to me because I'm a stronger man because of it?
I just did every loss that I've taken in my career, to be honest. Like the first Savannah fight, everyone thought, that's it, he's coming back to footy. I fought the guy 10 fights after my 10th fight. And this guy had more defences than I had fights, you know what I mean? And I shouldn't have been in the ring with him. He had the right to be in the ring with him, but I nearly beat him. I was in front of the scorecards, and I said, I'm still going to be world champ. I want to make it. I want to do it. Then a year and a half later, I'll beat Antoine Eccles, who just come off a close loss, 2 fights to Bernard Hopkins. So, from my losses, from my fights, I think that adversity made me stronger, and even the last losses made me stronger. And I had time to think and heal as far as my body and mind. And I'm looking forward to. I won't fight until late in the year, to be honest, just to get myself everything ready, I want everything pumping at the right time.
Anthony, you brought up that fight with Antoine Eccles. I was actually at that fight. Obviously, Antoine fought a couple of wars with Bernard Hopkins at the time, and you were only 3 years into the sport. You also had a rib injury, is that correct, in the lead up to the fight?
Yeah, I had a cracked rib.
How confident were you, given Antoine's background and obviously all the injuries he actually carried into that fight?
Yeah, well, like Antoine told me, he had a bullet lodged in his body.
Yeah.
And he was still fighting. So, but a cracked rib is nothing to be played with. I had to postpone the fight. I got ill with the flu or something. And then, obviously we had a fight. And thank God my preparation, like I said, it's all about preparation. When I have a great preparation, I'll put in stellar performances.
I remember, obviously, you were very emotional after the fight as well, Anthony. I remember your post-match fight conference, you actually said to the people out there, if you see me on the street, come up and say, hey. Do you wish you had a little bit more support from the Australian people?
You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter, who they are. Guys are starting I don't agree. But that's just life. That's always life. So I just try to be the best man I can be, and rest.
You've also been a pretty good mentor, obviously, to the likes of Blake Ferguson and Sonny Bill Williams over the years. What advice have you given to those guys? Because obviously they've changed their lives quite a bit, and they're doing very successfully at the moment.
I just try to support the brothers as much as I can. Giving them the advice that I would give any kids. They would hang around positive brothers, be with positive people. Birds of a feather flock together. So make sure you're flying with guys that are really positive and doing the right thing in life, and have all the desires and constructive life. Just obviously don't go out partying and don't get yourself in predicament. Don't drink, don't smoke, don't drugs. That'll send you crazy, send you wild, send anybody wild.
Yeah.
And so I just try to hang with them as much as I can.
It's really fascinating to me that this message that you purvey isn't spoken by the powers that be per se in Australia, because if you open the local papers, and I try not to read the news, I try not to get tied up in that, but you see like articles of etc. athletes doing pretty barbaric and archaic things. Do you see an end to that? Do you see that the issue is more about systems in place, or is there any way that we could fix this role model thing?
As long as it's going to be in society, you're going to have a problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're going to allow people to drink. You're going to allow people to take drugs. You're going to allow, the Western laws. There's always going to be problems. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Anthony, let me take you back to 1999 for a minute. I'm a big Cronulla Sharks fan, and we played you in the semi-final. Do you remember that game, the semi-final, when you smashed us?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're up 8-0 at halftime. We probably should have been up about 30-0 at halftime. You come out and probably produce arguably the greatest performance I've ever seen by even probably equal to someone like Andrew Johns and all the guys out there. What happened at halftime? I've always wanted to ask you this. What happened at halftime? Did the coach just get up you guys and you just come out and you drink a Gatorade? What'd you do?
I mean, we just prepared the best that we can that week. Obviously, I've always had the uncanny instinct and talent, and I was an offensive juggernaut at times, and like I said, it's coming back to the belief again. I was a very explosive player. I could create something, create a try, or do my own tries. That's what type of player I was. That's why I was the highest paid player in the game. And I always said that I was the best, but I never got the recognition for it because I had the big mouth. And that's again the system. They don't like when you talk against the system. The system likes to tell you what to do, not you tell them what to do. You know what I mean? I should have been picked up for Australia many a times, but because of my mouth, the quote from the coach at the time, the Australian coach, was Chris Anderson. The actual quote was, Mundine doesn't get picked because of his off-field characteristics. You know what I mean? I thought that was like a low blow because I don't drink, I don't smoke, I never get in trouble with the law. But because I believe myself and because I'm not supposed to believe myself and be cocky and be brash and be confident because I'm an Aboriginal. And Aboriginal, we're meant to sit in the corner and do what we're told, you know what I mean? But that was my way of getting the best out of myself. That's what I do in a fight game and in the league game, and inspiring others that can relate to me, you know?
Yeah. It really depends on, I think, the listener being, like you said, being able and being willing and open to learning and be inspired by people. We use this podcast. We interview a lot of fighters, writers, entrepreneurs. It seems like this common denominator with fighters. We were talking to Billy, John Wayne Parr, a couple UFC guys. They all, relate it back to either their family or faith. Is that a discipline that's always been in, since you were a boy, or did you have to grow into that discipline?
I grew into it. I mean, obviously, I always knew there was a God. I always thought there was a creator, a higher power. But as I evolved as a young man, contradictive, and I wasn't getting the right answers that I wanted. So I started doing it myself, and once I read the Malcolm X autobiography, that really got me interested in Islam. And then once I got interested in Islam, I started to learn about the fundamentals and how they believe in one creator for all mankind, and how Muhammad wasn't sent to a certain people, he was sent to all mankind. And then as you delved in, I think truth.
Awesome. Anthony, we had John Wayne Parr on the other day, and John was just speaking. He's let his young daughter learn how to fight. So she's effectively learning a martial art. And someone else like Kelly Slater has also been very encouraging in kids learning how to learn BJJ. So what my question was obviously you've got your own children, and obviously you encourage children right around Australia. Is martial arts learning how to self-defend yourself? Is that something that you encourage?
Yeah, I think it's a good thing. I mean, like I said, in the Western world we live in, sometimes there is no rules. You know what I mean? People make up their own rules. And, I don't think the authority and that deal with the circumstances the way they should.
Yeah.
So people need to learn how to defend themselves.
Excellent.
Anthony, just with I just want to touch on some of the work that you do, obviously with the Indigenous community, and also a lot of the youth work that you did. Can you just tell us a little bit about some of the work that you do? Because I know you flew over to WA last year to support the Madagarak homeless people, and you're always doing this sort of stuff. Can you just tell us a little bit about that?
What's that, sorry?
Sorry, buddy. I said a lot of people don't realise the work that you do for Indigenous communities and also youths. Can you just tell us a little bit about the work that you do with them?
I do a lot of a lot of visits, a lot of try to inspire the youth, to educate the youth, about law of attraction and belief in it, the drive that you need in order to achieve. I do it all over the country, so I just try to touch as many people as I can. If I touch on one, I'm doing my job. I've touched many people that have come to me and actually young men that have cried to me because I've touched them in a way that have been inspired by. So I mean, I break down myself when I hear when they're doing that to me.
Yeah. Anthony, something I want to ask you as well. You used to do a lot of work with Roy Jones Sr. back in the day during that Kessler fight, the Green and Solomon fight. That was a little period of time when you really seemed at your peak and you pretty much seemed a little bit invincible during that time. Are you still going to do maybe a little bit of work with Roy, or is that something that you kind of learn?
I'm thinking about doing a bit, if the Green fight comes off, about bringing him by doing a bit of work with him over there and for 2 months and trying to do what we've done in 2006,
Yeah, absolutely. When did you feel that you first moved away from being a rugby league player and was a true boxer?
That first fight.
Yeah, we heard some awesome feedback from one of the fighters I was chatting with. He said the ring is the best lie detector. Like you could have a guy talk all this game, but as soon as that bell rings inside that, you really get to see the true depths of a man. Is there one specific fight for you? I've heard Mickey Ward talk about Arturo Gatti on those wars that they had, and they became almost like brothers. And he talks about it being this intimate dance. Was there a specific fight that sticks out to you that you'll keep forever, to where it was like that, where you were trying to kill this guy and hurt this guy, but you had this connection with him that maybe was deeper than his family even knew?
I've had a couple of rivals that just bring the best out of me. It's probably Green was the first one, and then probably Daniel Gill was another guy that done that. But I think the fight that always been in my mind, and maybe given the fact that I was truly a super welterweight, but I was obviously my body has to take time to get to that division to sculpt that way, and my frame had to change. But I was really a blown up super welterweight. Was the Mikel Kessler fight, and I think that fight, I felt that I was fought one of my best fights in my career, and I think I thought it was an even fight. It could have went either way. Some of the scoring was atrocious. I think Miguel lost the fight, so that tells you that that was a standout in my book.
Anthony, you talk about obviously being blown up super welterweight. Obviously you played at rugby league at 86 kilos, had to come all the way down. Now that you're moving potentially back up to that 82 kilograms to fight Danny Green again, are you going to do that? Obviously, are you going to use weights to kind of put some weight on, or are you just going to fight back at your natural walking weight?
Well, that's the thing. See, it took me like 12 years to get my body to where it is. If I was stayed in boxing and never become a football player, I would have been a super welterweight my whole career. You know what I mean? But because I had to be elite, I had to be buff and be big. I play 86, but my frame is really 70 kilos. So I'll try and get up as much as I can. I won't make that weight that they want me to go to. He'll probably come in the ring 10 and 12 kilos heavier. That fight does come off. But like I said, speed is power. I want to, so I have to prove.
Yeah, that's actually a line that Conor McGregor used. Are you a big UFC fan, Anthony?
Yeah, I like McGregor.
Yeah, See,
do you say this? Sorry, Anthony.
No worries. Go ahead. I was just gonna say it's you guys are perfect examples, and that's any fighter who has enough boldness to talk about their skill and then back that up. I'm a huge fan of that. That as a fan,
me too.
That's why we watch.
People take confidence for arrogance sometimes. Especially when that's why I'm going to get my injuries fixed and my body healed this year. Once that's done and I'm flying back to all cylinders, I'm a hard boy to beat, especially with my mentally and my preparation there. I don't know, man. I just feel that I can match anybody on any given day and beat them when I'm pretty fit in every way and have the best preparation I can.
I love that. Are you doing any type of naturopathic healing for the body? Do you do any acupuncture? Do you do the isolation tanks or anything like that?
Yeah, you do all types of stuff. You do acupuncture, you do electro, stimulative therapy. There's so much things you can do. So I'm just trying to get my body 100% and get my mind 100%. But I'm ready to I'm still on sort of relaxed mode at the moment, but when I'm ready to get back in the ring, and I know it won't be long, I'll be ready to go mentally.
Definitely. Anthony, when it's all said and done in a couple of years, how would you like to be remembered?
Just a fighter that would guard his back or on his shield, And as a man, just someone that spoke the truth and didn't give a shit.
Yeah. So,
Anthony, we've got a personality question that we like to ask all our guests. So it's just, if Anthony Mundine was to host a dinner party, you've got 5 invites. You can't invite your close family or friends. So, dead or alive, who are the 5 people that Anthony Mundine would invite?
Oh, shit. That's a good one. Probably Malcolm X. Muhammad Ali, definitely. Sugar Ray Robinson. I think Al Capone, just for the stories.
Yeah, definitely.
Of today's era. Maybe Floyd Mayweather.
Oh, you can ask him why he hasn't fought you yet.
Yeah.
Just trying 20 months.
Right? I think you probably get under his skin. See, us Americans, we really don't have that good a sense of humor. But Anthony, one of the things that we chatted about, we use this podcast, this platform for inspiration, and for our listeners out there, for anyone who may be struggling with something in their life, could you leave our listeners and us with some words of inspiration that maybe could help them?
Definitely. Whenever I'm in a pickle or nothing, I feel like nothing's going right, I always sit down wherever I am, try to think about what is so bad. What is so bad? I'm still breathing. I'm still living. There's people out there that don't have mothers, that don't have fathers, that don't have food, that don't have a bed. I mean, so there's people out there that are so much worse off than you, and I'm complaining of something that ain't even that bad, or depressed about something even that I shouldn't be even depressed about. So I take every positive out of. If I'm negative, I always just bring that positive energy to myself.
Well said, Anthony. It's thank you for sharing that with us, man.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Anthony.
Anthony, we'd just like to thank you, obviously, for coming on. We wish you best of luck for 2016. We hope your injuries heal, and we'd love to see you back in the ring because we're big fans.
Yeah, can't wait to see you again.
Thanks, boys.
No worries. You have a good day, man. Mundine.
Your boy.
He was my boy.
Yeah, I'm excited for you. I'm excited that we got to do that with an Australian living legend.
Yeah, and it was good that he spoke his mind and he didn't hold back. And I love these words of inspirations too. Like, it's true. Like, obviously us two speak a lot away from what we do here, away from the gym. Like, we're good mates, and you help me, I help you speak about different issues that we're going for. But sometimes just putting that perspective, like, we're both very lucky that, I know that you've lost your father, but I've still got my parents, and you've got a close family now back in Australia as well as in America.
Yeah, I look at losing my father. I just lost his physical entity, just his body. His body died. Like, who he what he meant to me and what he still means to me, that's never gonna die. So that's always there. And what Anthony said about for people who are struggling, what do we have? I think the trick is to look at things in a different perspective when you are going through these things. So if the issue is issue A, B, or C, find the good in it, because there's always good in it. The world is not out to get you. The world is meant for happiness. The world is meant for love and relationships and bonds, and they're out there and they're all around us. And I think the point is, with that question that we ask a lot, is being able to see through that. Cut through all of this idea of what pain is supposed to be like, and fear and sadness, and see the good in it, because the light is there and it's in all of us.
Yeah, I think so as well. And I think it's something that you can control as well. Like, you going out and doing something for someone else, making someone else's life a little bit easier, and just even speaking in your own perspective, and chasing your dreams that Anthony was talking about as well. And I think it's something that we've both spoken about right now, right here, that the podcast is just something that we both love and something that we want to devote 100% of our attention to, because we love it and it makes us feel good.
Yeah, I love, like, it's you put in, coming from an athletic background I'm talking myself as a boy. So my 8, 9, 10-year-old version of myself was just a little boy who loved sports. My whole world revolved around sports, revolved around playing the sport and then watching the sport. And at one time, that was my existence. So to correlate that with dreams, and I know you were the same, your dream at one time probably was to chat with Anthony Mundine.
Yeah.
This guy was your guy. And I like what you said. I didn't know that story. You're a Cronulla fan. Was he playing for Illawarra?
Yeah, he's playing for St. George.
And he just dominated this big game in the second half.
I cried.
Yeah. And you got to ask him that.
Yeah.
That's think about that.
I was 17, so I've been waiting to ask him that for 16 years.
When I first met you, you brought that up, and the word podcast wasn't even a word. It was just we were just chatting, getting to know each other, and just talking about one of the great Australian boxers of all time, and that story came up. I had no idea he was a rugby player.
Yeah, he didn't realise the other life that he already lived, did you?
Two different paths. I'm really excited to see the transition. He realizes that his body can't heal as quick as it used to be. That's what happens. Our bodies, it's natural. We're all going to get old. No one's permanent, so we're all going to decay. And I think the trick is to transition in whatever stage it is. He's 40. He probably wants to fight one more time, I'm thinking, just to prove something to himself that he has it in him. But I'm excited to see that next step because he is a positive role model. And if you know what, and if you're out there and you're listening and you're one of these people who hate on him or anyone for that matter because of something or a confidence they present. Yeah, here's a quote, man, and I don't mean to offend anyone. If this doesn't speak to you, that's fine. This is what drives me, but 100% of all haters are unrealized potential. If you see a man or a woman who is doing well, who's living their life righteously and doing it the right way and helping people, and you hate on that, then maybe it's time to reconfigure something you're doing and let's get your life on the right path. And I was there before. Yeah. I remember when I wasn't happy, I was choosing to live my life a certain way, and I was a hater. I was miserable to be around.
Think about how long it takes, right, to hit a comment back in a hatred way. By the time you type that comment and you think about it so many times, you could have done something positive for someone else.
Man, were you down in the office yesterday when I was talking? We were going to interview Chalk.
Yeah, no, I wasn't.
Yeah, so just I'm down in the office yesterday, and we have a meeting room, and there's a bunch of my friends and colleagues around, and I bring up Mundine, and the reaction from a certain person was just, I felt like his reaction was his father's reaction and his grandfather's reaction, not even about Mundine, but about this misunderstanding of a person and humanity. And it kind of made sense as a metaphor to where the media here in Australia really doesn't like a guy who's so vocal about any specific stance. His stance isn't about Aboriginal or white or black. It's about humanity. And he might present itself, he might say it's about that, but at the end of the day,
he wants to create a better world for everybody.
For everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like what Justin talked about with the Mubudi pygmies in Congo and the Congolese people. The Congolese people looked at the pygmies, and still do, as animals. Not humans, but animals. And what I want to figure out before I die is maybe humanity, with all of this intelligence we have and this advance in technology, that we could figure out a system and find one and put it into place to make everyone aware that everybody's connected. It's not about white, black, yellow. It's not about color, titles, what jobs you have. It's about living harmoniously and doing things the way you want, like naturally, authentically to what speaks to you.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree 100%. Like, when you think about it, what he's saying, like you did just mention, is, yeah, he even admits it himself. He's got a big mouth. But wouldn't you rather, like he did say, and you speak to me a lot about this as well, one day we're all going to die. And that's just a reality. There's two things that in life that happens. You get taxes and you die. Do you know what I mean? Everything else, there's variables.
Yeah.
If you get what I mean. But before you die, don't you want to be seen to be the person that, if your full potential be outlined, do you know what I mean? Like Tristan and Johnny, they gave it their all. They might not have reached what they wanted to, but they gave it everything they had to try and get there. Do you know what I mean? And, who are we to say that they didn't reach it? You know what I mean? Like, it could be someone else's marker that they didn't reach it, but in their own hearts, they might have reached what the goal that they were going for. Like,
yes.
Already, we've reached well past where we thought we were going to be.
Perspective is a beautiful thing, and the idea to think that somebody else is doing something that you can't. I always talk about this. I'm driving this point into the ground, but it's something that I'm really passionate about. Is I used to live my life that way. I wasn't born and raised in the wealthiest of neighborhoods, cities, families, but I was loved. And for the longest time, though, I thought that it was only for the ones who had everything that could do anything. And when I realized that was just part of the control, that was just a lie that somebody else told me, that's when I started believing in dreams again. Because more often than not, you're a kid and you have all these dreams. You want to be an astronaut, you want to be a race car driver, and then you get jaded by life. You get beaten down. And by the time you get maybe into your 20s, you've been broken up with, you've had bad relationships, bad friends, you start believing that dreams aren't real. You start believing that you can't accomplish what you wanted to do maybe when you were younger. And I feel that's anybody, if somebody is doing something that you want to do, you could do it. And don't hate on them for it either, because everybody's on their own path.
Thank you again for supporting the cause. Like we said, if you could please subscribe, leave us a 5-star review, and also, if you could, please tell your family and friends who you think would enjoy the show.
Yeah, we can only get better from here. It wasn't too long ago that the top of our vision board in regards to our guests that we were going to reach out to and going to give to our fans Anthony was on the top of that list. So that's a thank you and attribute to our fans and our followers. If nobody or if this show was falling on deaf ears, it would have been really difficult to get the man on the show. So it's a thank you to you guys, and Tristan really appreciates the continuous support.
Definitely, guys. But also a big thank you to both Anthony and Ben Thompson for arranging that. So we'll speak again to Anthony. I'm sure that he's got his big fight down the track with Danny Green, so we'll get Anthony back on.
Yeah, I forgot to mention Ben. Ben's been a huge integral process to organizing this thing, and he's been a good right-hand man to Anthony with all of his connections. So thanks, Ben. Thanks, Anthony, and we want to see you in the ring soon.
Definitely. Also, guys, don't miss out on the show. We've got some big shows coming up. We've got Zach Evanish. He's coming live from New York next week. We've also got one of the MMA living legends, Jake Shields, and one of the greatest boxers of all time, Larry Holmes, who's one of 5 men to beat Muhammad Ali.
Larry Holmes, the Eastern Assassin. That whole list I could probably do a 5-minute intro on, from Zach to Jake. Larry Holmes, obviously, his resume speaks for itself, but this is once again another opportunity, not for me to talk about who our guests are going to be, but for me and Tristan to thank you, the listeners, once again, for putting us in this position to deliver an awesome product.
Definitely. So, guys, get in touch. info@thevisionboardpodcast.com. You'll hear from either myself or Johnny. We're the only 2 people that check that email, so we always respond. So please get in touch. Leave us some suggestions, feedback, things you want to see, things that you've liked during the episode. So we really appreciate that.
Vision Board Pod on Twitter. _Fit Coach is my Instagram. It's slowly evolving and turning into the Vision Board's Instagram. TK is on Tristan Cannell Fitness and IG, and we're both on Facebook, the Vision Board Podcast.
Hell yeah.
Get involved, stay in touch. Let's do this thing together. That's what it's about. It's about a community. Check our credo out. It's about providing a platform of inspiration, education, empowering.
All right, guys. Well, Johnny Stofko, always a pleasure.
Yeah, Tristan, rock and roll. Until next time.
Day, my man.
Peace.
It makes me wanna creep.
I got something for your mind, your body, and your soul. I got something for your mind, your body, and your soul.
The Vision Board Podcast, hosted by Johnny Stofko and Tristan Cannell.